Hi, I'm Rob Akert with Security Systems News, the magazine and website, and I'm joined today with Dan DeBlasio with Irvine Sensors Corporation. So Dan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate this very much.
So yeah, we're kind of sharing ideas and sharing information that helps our readers. I would love to maybe jump in and ask about, what you're doing here at the show, any new products you have, and maybe some best practices that you could share with our audience.
Great. Thank you, Rob. Well, Irvine Sensors has been around about 6 years in its current form, and we have 4 verticals from a product perspective. I'm head of the Alert division, which is video analytics, and I'll talk more about that. That's really our focus at the show. We also have our LiDAR division, and then we also have 3D memory stacking, and then we have a future project that's called HAL. And basically HAL will be a brain in a box for 20 watts. And that's a story for another time. But one of the things that really interested me when I joined the firm 4 months ago, they had done a tremendous amount of work with the DoD and DARPA. That's been their major focus in the last 5-6 years. And in the last 3 years or so, the federal government's put in $15 to $17 million through the projects that we've been awarded, and basically they have really helped us raise the bar in our analytics, because we do both machine learning and deep learning, which takes us to really an enterprise level in the commercial space, which is my responsibility, to bring the Alert video analytics solution to the enterprise and the commercial space.
Okay. If someone comes up to your booth, they're either new in the industry or a current customer, what are some new things that you're hearing from them, or what are they sharing with you?
Well, let me just speak historically. Video analytics, I think for the most part in the past, had a bad name, because I think the early adopters found out that things were being overcommitted and under-delivered. But one of the things that I've seen in what we do, we've done a couple Safe Skies studies. Are you familiar with Safe Skies?
Vaguely, we'd love to hear more, yes.
They're like an adjunct to the FAA, and they will pay to do security studies of certain products at airports. So one of the things we did at John Wayne Airport in Orange County, and this was back in 2016, one of the tests was wrong way traffic. So think of the TSA agent, and TSA refers to when you leave the terminal, that's the exit lanes. We got 99% accuracy on wrong way traffic, because we're able to deep learn that uniform and a process when a TSA agent's going the wrong way. They have to present their ID to that TSA agent. So we know through our analytics and the deep learning, machine learning, where we can identify that that's acceptable. That's not an alert. And one of the things we pride ourselves on, and which I think the industry is looking for, is minimal false alerts. Because the people that are in your security operations center, they're humans, right? You and I. We get tired, our eyes get tired, you miss something. Well, if computers are tuned right, they don't go to sleep. They don't miss things if they're done right. So we're doing right now a proof of concept with Metrolink, and it's around trespassing. So we're doing perimeter, for lack of a better term, security, where we use a tripwire and forbidden zones, which you can lay out within the software interface. And that's what we provide. With the Alert product, it's all software and it's camera agnostic. But some best practices, if I could share with the dealers, integrators, and end customers, is what's your problem that you're trying to solve? Because it's not as simple as saying you can pick any camera or any video analytics solution. It's a true consultative selling situation where you've got to understand the problem, and then you can choose the correct camera and the correct video analytics solution for what you're trying to accomplish for your customer. I mean, for an example, one thing we did with BART 2 years ago, we went in there on trespassing. BART finally understood what we could do with our analytics, and they said, you know, we'd like to check our fare evasion. Can you do people counting? Absolutely. We were able to show them that they thought they had a $2 million a year fare evasion. It's more like $28 million a year. But what that did is that showed them that at their stations, their exit gates for handicap had to be redone because people realized that that gate would open and you could just walk through the wrong way.
Yeah, amazing. Starting with the problem or the challenge and working your way backwards. It's simple, smart, but definitely, creating the best opportunities.
Well, and one of the other things, to talk about what's coming. So I said that we also do LiDAR. We'll probably have 4 or 5 different LiDAR solutions, which is basically a laser that looks forward-looking, can also be 360, right? And so we'll have 4 or 5 different types because of distance. The low end will do 1 to 2 kilometers. The high end will do upwards of 30 kilometers. Now, when you think of 30 kilometers, you're probably thinking drones or something like that, which is true. At the end of this summer, August, September timeframe, we'll be announcing 3D Alert, which combines our LiDAR sensors with our alert video analytics. And it, I don't want to get into military applications, but it works very well for what their problems are. But the thing about our LiDAR, number one is, since it's a laser, but our laser is not eye harmful, number one. Number two, the graphics that we get, the view that we get, can cut through fog and smoke and, other areas to still give you a view of what's out there. And then being able to add analytics to that is, very exciting. And that can go from the automobile industry with self-driving cars. I mean, this is where that technology is going to go.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly focused really at the security component and the video analytics and where people are going with video, because so many facilities, I think 50 cameras is a small facility these days. I can talk more about that if you'd like.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to run out of time. We probably could talk for hours, and you're a wealth of knowledge, so I appreciate that. We're joined here, with Dan DeBlasio with Irvine Sensors, so we really appreciate your time and all of your knowledge.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Great.
I really appreciate
this.
Yeah. All right, good talking to you.
Thank you, Dan.
All right.